Workhorse Group and Fisker Inc. were some of the top trending tickers on the day. Workhorse fell sharply as Fisker broke out to new highs. Where do I see these stocks going for the rest of the week? But before we get into that, there is the closing bell, guys, with the S&Ps finishing the day up over 40%. Just take a look at these future contracts. After having an overnight session of about 40 points, it didn't look like we were going to come in this morning hot. However, once 10 o'clock started, we just trended up and we did not look back. Now, when we take a look at the S&P on a daily, after seeing 6 down days, we're getting a nice size candle with volume backing it up. When we cruise on over to the SPX, coming into this week, we expected 72 points. So 72 points up would take us to 39.79. We're going to need another day like today if we want to reach this upper edge. However, we tagged the lower edge the other day at 38.33 and we're breaking positive at 39.06. So can we keep the momentum going? When we take a look at the NASDAQ, today the NASDAQ was up 0.74%. So after being hammered hard, the NASDAQ is catching a green day, and it's our worst performing index. At least it's up. What was our top performing index? Well, that was the Russell. The Russell up over 2.3% today, and really seeing a nice move here in the Russell. When we see where the moves came from, when we look at the Big Five today was down 0.34%. So it's definitely putting weight on the NASDAQ and holding back the S&Ps, but they're still up over 43 points. So where are these moves coming from? When we take a look at the Big Five from a daily, these are stocks: Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Facebook. These stocks are very strong in terms of market caps and they can easily get going. They're down on the day. However, we had Tesla up over 6%, which is a very large market cap, and it definitely helped lift the NASDAQ higher. However, when we look at some of their sectors, today the XLE was our leading, up 3.5%. So energy continues to rip higher. What's behind it? Well, the financials are right behind it, up 1.88%. On a year to date, these financials are up 15%. After being hammered in 2020, they're seeing a nice boost in 2021. Same goes with the energy. Energy's up over 32% after being down over 30% last year. These are two sectors that are seeing a lot of rotation coming into them. However, we see the technology stocks up 1.5%. So after seeing our Big Five down about 0.25%, technology sector is up 1.5%. So that's other names getting some money coming into them. Even the software stocks are up 1.5%, which was a big boost for the Russell, as a lot of these software stocks are inside the Russell 2000. What was our worst sector on the day? Well, that was the utilities, down over 1% and falling pretty hard. For the most part, seeing all of our sectors up a decent amount is a good sign. When we have the energy, financials, and technology all up, it's going to be very hard to take this marketplace down, as they are just very big sectors and they could propel this market to new all-time highs. So with all of our index pointing to the upside and even the financials up a nice amount, how did the bonds break down? And taking a look at the 30-year bond, we have now rolled into the June contract. Just take a look. We rolled from the March and into the June. However, this contract's down 0.2%, so the bonds continue to slide. What does that mean for yield? Well, the yield is rising. We're seeing the TNX hit over a 1.4% yield, finishing around 1.38. Regardless, this is a yield that is rising at a pretty fast rate, and we're going to have to keep our eyes on it day to day. As for volatility, taking a look at these VIX futures, they were down over 3%, so the VIX is starting to crumble. When we take a look at it intraday, it just couldn't get going today, going straight down all the way to the bell. Even taking a look at the VVIX, it was down 2.8%, bounced off this 110 line. However, we're just crumbling in the final minutes of trade. Taking a look at the VVIX on a daily, you can see the closer we get to 100 should give investors more confidence to long stocks, as when volatility constricts, it's a more calmer environment for people to step in front of names that they like. Let's take a look at our dollar index, see how the commodities broke down, and talk about Bitcoin. Taking a look at our dollar index, it was down 0.12%. So nothing going on here in the dollar. It's hanging on to the 90 handle. And when we look at crude oil, today crude oil was up over 2.5%, going a new 52-week all-time high. It seems every day it's doing it, but crude oil up large today definitely helped boosted energy stocks, which was our leading sector on the day. How did gold do? Gold down $4, not really going anywhere. We had silver up 1%, sitting around 28. Gold holding 1800. These metals just aren't getting anything going. And as for Bitcoin, we see Bitcoin today was up over 2%. However, the volume's drying up here, and Bitcoin is just trying to find a base here. Seeing it's been pretty volatile the past 2 days, it looks like this 47.48 level could be a pretty solid floor to consolidate here for a while before going higher. There you have it for the stock market breakdown. So with all of our indexes up to date, the Russell led the way and we had support from energy, financials, and technology. Now being positive on the week, we'll look to go higher. If we can see continuation from technology, energy, and financials, it will be a great sign going into Thursday. But enough of that, let's take a look at some of our trending tickers on the day, and we'll start with Workhorse. And today, Workhorse Group was down over 8%, with a market cap of $1.8 billion. On a year-to-date, Workhorse is down close to 30%. Now, what does Workhorse do? Well, they're a company that designs, builds high-performance electric vehicles and aircraft. It's focused on providing solutions to commercial transportation sector. Now, Workhorse got hammered yesterday after getting news from USPS that they chose another company to do business with. Workhorse fell over 50% before bouncing. Just taking a look at it on an intraday, you can just see the aggressive fall, and we kind of mellowed out a bit in the after hours and even in pre-market going into today. Now, when we throw Workhorse on an expected move, this is what the options market priced in, and this week they priced in $4.20. Of course, they didn't expect them to not get this deal with USPS, so we fell close to 5 standard deviations. 5 standard deviations is a little bit below $12 at $11.96. So where are we hovering right now? Well, when you take a look at it, closer look, we're sitting in between the 4 standard deviation and the 4.5 standard deviation at 1406. You can see that played some very strong support this morning. However, we're closing somewhere in the middle of these two. Look for these levels to play some pretty big pivotal moments. If we get below the 1406, the next level would be around $12. However, I think a lot of the selling is over, and if we trend higher, look for 1616 to play a nice pivot to go higher. And coming in at the #1 trending ticker, Fisker Inc. Today, Fisker was up over 38% with a market cap of $6.2 billion. On a year-to-date, Fisker is up 48%, seeing a lot of it in today's trade. What does Fisker do? Well, Fisker is an American automaker designing and developing innovative electric vehicles. Now, what's the news today? Some pretty big volume coming out of Fisker, and today it announced a collaboration with Apple partner Foxconn to make a yet-to-be-named electric vehicle. Now, the name Apple in the headline, of course, brought a lot of speculation, and this stock just roared hard today. Taking a look at a trade tab, it's also hard to borrow, so add in some short squeezes to the mix, and you got a day like today. Now, when we throw it on an expected move, we were coming into this week expecting $1.65. The upper edge was around $19.64, and you can see we're well past that level. Taking a look how it is, well, a 4 standard deviation is $24.59. 3.5 standard deviation is $23.77, which 2 cents we got rejected there. And the 3 sigma is $22.94, which we are closing right below that. My guess is the hype will kind of slow down, and the 2 standard deviation, 21.29, should be tagged. However, you can just see that 2 sigma is when it broke out. I think it comes down, retest 21.29 before going higher. There you have it for the trending stocks on the day, Fisker and Workhorse. Did you get a chance to watch these guys? If so, where do you see them going in tomorrow's session? And if you've watched this far, guys, I really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button. It means a lot when you guys like my videos. And if you're watching me for the very first time, I do these every single day. Show some love and hit that subscribe button. It will really make my day as well. Have any comments, questions, feedback for me? Leave it down below, and I'd love to hear from you guys. But on that note, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great night. Take care. Peace.